So the Public Safety Department, it's about 220 or so employees spread across the county. We oversee the County Emergency Management Division, the County 911 Center, County Emergency Medical Services, our Marine Rescue Division, which is our beach lifeguards. We are headquartered here in the Public Safety Center, which is where the EOC is located, but we also have offices. We have a Marine Rescue headquarters on Anna Maria Island, and we've got about 18 EMS stations spread out across the county. We took the data we were getting from the state and from the National Hurricane Center and brought it in here into the EOC, started to evaluate big picture. Some of the things we were looking at was a lot of the decisions that were going to need to be made in advance of the storm were going to need to be made over the weekend. So we had to do a lot of things during business hours, office hours on a Friday afternoon. We had to get a lot of things taken care of in advance so we weren't left holding the bag over the weekend in preparation for an early Monday morning weather event. So we put a lot of pieces into motion on Thursday afternoon, on Friday, and then into this morning. And as that developed over the last 24 hours, we're seeing now that the event is going to dissipate. So it gave us a chance to basically knock the dust off a lot of things here at the EOC, get things up and running. But at the same time, it's always easier to ramp things up in the beginning and then kind of scale back as an event develops versus trying to stand something up in the middle of an event. So it's always best to get things started early and then back down versus trying to do it in the midst of an event. Absolutely, we had a really good working relationship, and that shined through all of the last 24 hours, especially with the county school board, because that's where our shelters are. And so if we were going to need shelters, then we needed the school board to assist us with standing up those shelters. They've been here. They were here in the EOC yesterday. They were here for our EOC briefings and in our policy group meetings, trying to make a decision as to if we were going to need to cancel school on Monday, and possibly Tuesday, because if we needed shelters, then the schools had to be closed, and it needed to be made, a decision needed to be made early in advance of school on Monday morning. We also had a really good working relationship with our Public Works Department, who stood up and was helping with sandbags and distributions and things of that nature. So it's not just Manatee County Public Safety or Manatee County Emergency Management, it's really a community response. We're just kind of tend to be in the center of that response. I would tell them that they're very fortunate in Manatee County. We have a wonderful team in our emergency management division within the public safety department as a whole. I would encourage them to also take the time to make sure they're prepared. We tell every citizen in Manatee County, take the time to make sure you have a plan, that you have preparations in place to be self-sufficient for 24 to even up to 72 hours if need be, the amount of water you need, food, medications. We also encourage people to remember to include plans for your pets in those types of preparations. During Hurricane Katrina, one of the primary reasons people did not evacuate was because of their pets, because pets weren't allowed in shelters and things of that nature. And so we try to encourage people to include their pets in their emergency planning. So this gave us an opportunity to review our plans. Hopefully it gave the citizens an opportunity to review their personal family plans as well. And so we're here to help them develop those plans. If they have questions or need, they can feel free to contact us. We'll help them any way we can. Well, I can tell you from the Public Safety Department and the Emergency Management Division, we were watching this storm 3 to 4 days ago as it developed in the Atlantic. This storm looks like it's going to dissipate over the next 12 to 24 hours. It may be a non-event. We may get some heavy weather. We're already looking at another tropical wave that's forming in the Atlantic. That's how far in advance we take a look at these kinds of things. We want to be as prepared in advance as we possibly can. Again, it's best to plan for worst case scenario, because if you plan for the worst case scenario, it's easy to deal with everything underneath that. So we keep an eye out 24/7.
Well, there's been quite a few challenges. Actually, yesterday with our initial briefing at 2 o'clock, by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, when they showed the actual weather track, we were meeting with the board because ground zero was actually Palmetto, Port Manatee. Board saw that coming, gave us a local state of emergency based on the information at hand at that time. And now we wake up to this morning going in this afternoon where it's not even a tropical storm. It's just a large rain mass. So now we're talking about not necessarily wind speeds, but we're really focused on what is this rain going to bring us, considering we've already had a lot of rain. It's extremely important for all these entities to come together, and the bottom line is whenever we do an activation, it's all about the team. It's not about an individual player or a particular department or service. It's a composite of the team that makes it all happen. Every year we actually do an exercise, but it's a tabletop and it's a lot of artificialities because we're trying to develop the team and the interrelationship. These type of events, this was a perfect opportunity for us to validate that yes, our exercises are on track. We are coming together as a team. Everybody is doing their part. Everybody has a critical role in this process that helps bring it all together. There is a process, and what needs to be done next, this particular tropical storm, now a depression, is a perfect example of that. We're going to be asking all of our partners, all the players, to come together after this, and we're going to do what we call an after-action review. Where can we improve? What can we do better? And that's the intent of every activation, every exercise we have. Bottom line is, we are here. We are ready, we're thankful, we have missed another possibility, but it's all about the planning. It's all about the process. It's all about being involved and making sure everybody is up to speed, from the community level all the way out to our different partners that makes this all possible.
Well, it was really impressive. We go through drills several times a year, and this was, it felt like the latest one. It was a real event, but the whole community mobilized and activated really quickly. And yesterday around this time, there was a room full of people. There were 200 people here yesterday, and it just goes to show how seriously people take storm prep throughout the year. We do several drills leading up to hurricane season, and this seemed like a good real-life event that was, it ended up being just a drill. It was a real event, and people took it seriously, and so it was a good test for everyone to be here and exercise their protocols and to know exactly what information to look for and what to distribute with their contacts out in the community. That's actually, to me, a fascinating part of this. Because we're in Florida, the Sunshine State, it's so important that we adhere to the Sunshine Law, and therefore we had to publicly notice a meeting of the County Commission, and it all came together very quickly. We only had about 30 minutes to inform the public and the media that the County Commission would be meeting. And you do those kinds of things so there's not a perception that the county commissioners are meeting in secret and that they are doing something that they shouldn't be. So that meeting was noticed. We had media here, and the commission, it was probably maybe the shortest meeting you'll ever see, in that they convened, they took a vote to approve the emergency measures, the local state of emergency, and then they dismissed, and it all took maybe 2 minutes, if that. And what that emergency activation or the local state of emergency does is give our emergency management team, and our purchasing, and our legal teams ability to act quickly in response to a storm. So had Erica posed a real threat to Manatee County, our teams would have been able to respond quickly, and you could have purchased things that otherwise you'd have to go through a very kind of the purchasing and RFP protocols are a little bit different in this storm and emergency response. So, well, that's another really special thing about Manatee County, and that whether it's a drill or whether it's a real event like Tropical Storm Erica, you have representatives from all areas of the community here, from the schools and the cities, law enforcement, the Red Cross, local volunteer groups, of course, county officials, and they all come together, and they're all pulling toward the same end. And it's not often that you get, you know, a community and all that diverse a group to be working toward the same thing. But you know, we've seen the devastating effects that a tropical storm and a hurricane can have in other areas of the world, and even close to home. Charlotte Harbor, Hurricane Charlie just 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So people understand how important it is to work together as a team to do our best to fight those things in advance and to get out ahead of the storm. And really, again, for me and in my office, it's all about getting the word out to the public through the media about what the county is doing and what people should do to prepare for these kinds of storms. whenever the Emergency Operations Center is truly activated, our website will also transition into an emergency response look of the page. So it'll be, the home page rather than you seeing mymanatee.org will appear to be very storm specific. Thankfully, we didn't have to go through that this time, but mymanatee.org will be a key place for people to get information, as well as our social media platforms. On Twitter, that's at ManateeGov, MANATEGOV. That's our Twitter handle, and then on Facebook, Manatee County, Florida. So we'll be regularly getting information out there. And what I tell my team of public information officers is the public and the media will be looking to us first to get the most accurate information, we hope. So it's so important for our team to be able to speak to the public through social media, through our website, and through the traditional media as well, so that people understand exactly what the local impacts are going to be from anything from a tropical storm to a hurricane. And in closing, I know we're about to transition to the 2 o'clock, but I did want to mention that in the coming days, there's going to be a lot of rain, and it's going to be another opportunity for people there's going to be a lot of service requests that come into our Citizens Action Center through our Public Works, and it's going to be a good opportunity, I think, for people to try out Manatee County's mobile app. It's called My Manatee Mobile, and what you'll be able to do with this mobile app is input your zip code or address, and you'll be able to report flooding or bad road conditions. And if there's the need for a service call, then our Public Works teams can be on scene within 24 hours trying to address that. It's successful because people take it seriously, and I think that having the drills that we have and the regular public messaging that we have, eventually it really seeps into the subconscious of our residents, and they take it seriously. So hopefully whenever people start to see warnings on the local media through the newspapers, websites, and television, they've heard from the county and emergency management officials that these are serious storms. We see how they can impact lives, and it doesn't take long. These storms move quickly, and so as a measure of success, it's that people take these storms seriously and that they turn to the county and to our local media outlets to understand what those impacts are going to be in Manatee County.